Hey guys, welcome back. It's Grim Reaper coming at you for another video for Shadows. Hopefully you're doing well and hopefully you're looking after yourself and having a positive start to the weekend or the week wherever you are in the world. And hopefully there. We have a guest on the channel today. Mr. Bronk is onto the channel. If you want to introduce yourself, Bronk, and a little bit of content that you cover, go for it.
Yeah, it is Bront, as we discussed before. It's not a big deal. But Bront Cat Herder, I do the Twitches, I do the YouTubes. I recently competed in the Hell Hades free to play, came in second. That was a lot of fun. And we just got done filming a video about countering mythicals in live arena. So I'm actually looking forward to this collab as well.
Yeah, so obviously we just done a video with me and Bronco on his channel. I will put everything down in the descriptions of his channels. Go ahead and check him out. He's a really fantastic content creator. I've known Cat for a long time. So we are going back from the OGs. And today's video, we're going to be covering the three things were changed about Live Arena. So it's a juicy one for today's video. Go ahead, put me on that TV, put your feet up and get yourself a cup of coffee. It's going to be a juicy one for today. So Cat Howder's going to kick us off with one of his three changes, what he would change about this, and we'll talk about this in the background as well. Go for it.
Yeah, and so I think I'm going to start off with one that's probably I think going to affect the early game the most. But I think Polarium needs to figure out a way for the lower level, so the bronze and the silver, to incentivize the bigger accounts to get out of silver and into gold, as well as to figure out the matchmaking at the silver and even the bronze level, so that accounts that are level 52, level 55, level 60 are not facing 5-year-old accounts that are level 100 that have mythicals on them, because it is very, very difficult for a low level account. And I say this as somebody who played the free to play and played live arena fairly hard on that account. You were struggling for any win you got, but when you would face somebody that you know you couldn't win against, it felt just really, really bad. And in gold, I can kind of understand where if I'm a low level account, I'm probably out of my depth a little bit. I'm going to be encountering teams that I can't deal with. But why am I encountering a double Taurus, double Marishka team in Silver 2?
Yeah, yeah.
Just why?
Yeah, it's not the nicest things to kind of face, and I have a little bit of experience in bronze, well, mainly in silver, because I drive
Mhm.
four accounts for live arenas. So sometimes I do have to take the accounts from silver all the way to gold four, which can be a interesting experience sometimes, a different experience. But one of the things that I would also change, talking about matchmaking, is how that matchmakings work for seasons. Now, I think there is worth going talking about. There is a lot of positives with seasons, with the extra rewards and etc. And this is not so much of a slaying saying what raid are doing bad or anything like that. There's always improvement for anywhere in this game or just in general what you do in life is the matchmaking for seasons. So what's going on right now is you're seen to be gold one, gold two, or gold three. You have tiers for arena for a reason, so you're facing the same kind of average players of your experience, your spending, and your gear to that level, right? And that is going to be the important bit. But when seasons is kicking off, you're in gold one or gold two. Right now, I'm driving an account in gold four, in gold two, and I'm facing gold four players. I'm not just facing gold four players. I am facing top 25 within uh, a disaster amount of fights, and it really has a negative impact against these people. Even with my experience and my knowledge inside the arena, doesn't matter who you are, you're not beating the Cartmans, the Doc Moreau's, big accounts, the top 100 with these small accounts. It doesn't matter how good you are, unless really they kind of just hand it to you. That's a problem for sure. So Plarium need a way to code seasons outside Gold Fall Arena that the points are worked on for the general points and the total points where they are in Gold 1, Gold 2, and Gold 3 to make sure they get equal fights. And so they can get their relics and improve their gear to when they get ready to Gold 4, that they're ready for that. And right now, they can't get ready for it because Seasons is hindering them for that. Now, Seasons has been good for a lot of players, anyone in Gold 4. It's been good for us. but anyone that's underneath Gold 4 is suffering. So Gold 1, Gold 2, and Gold 3 are really feeling that. So that's one of the things I feel that player need to step in quite quickly. A lot of content creators are talking about it as well, in official content creators. I know that a lot of people have talked about it. We're talking about CCs like content creators like Dark, Perslin, Ash. All of these CCs have some ways have mentioned it in their videos or in their streams and etc. So it's not just me talking about this, and it's something that Raid need to fix like ASAP. So Cat Houser's going to go over his number 2 now, and he's going to kind of say why he wants to do it.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. And honestly, I think matchmaking needs to get an overhaul entirely. I think is kind of our point between the two of these things. Gold matchmaking could be better, but obviously you're expecting to encounter endgame teams. But yeah, the match between Gold 1 and Gold 4 in seasons is just kind of silly, and the lower level matchmaking needs some tweaking as well. And unfortunately, the fix for that, which I'm sure we'll talk about more, has always been certainly to figure out ways to prevent people from sliding down to just force them to constantly go up, which isn't
Mm,
a really good solution.
yeah.
But my second improvement, which I think actually would be a really, really good quality of life improvement for gold, and this is a gold thing. This is not something I would want to do in silver. Um, you know, and actually, I'll kind of combine this in a couple things. I think the battle rules needs to change a little bit. I think in silver they needed to institute you cannot pick duplicate champions in silver. Would
Mm-hmm.
be a good battle rule change. And then in gold, in addition to obviously every champion has to be unique, so it's a double-sided unique.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that they should institute a pre-ban. So how I would work this is you would make a list of 10 champions ahead of time of these 10 champions are 10 champions I want to be able to pick from to permaban from this particular match. And then when the match comes up, you can look at the other person's name and maybe you know that, oh, okay, that's I want to ban Kaja because that's biohack, for example, or I don't want to deal with Nice because I hate Nice always.
Mm-hmm.
I can pick one of those champions and permaban them before we even start drafting champions. And since that is a blind double pick that happens at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
yes, it adds an extra draft step, so it'll slow things down slightly. But what it also does is it has the opportunity to force different interesting metas. You could have two people pick the same champion, so suddenly it's only one champion that's banned, or you could pick a champion specific to somebody else, or maybe just a champion you don't deal with particularly well.
Mm-hmm.
But it allows for you to control the fight just a little bit more, and it gives you a little more strategy with forcing people to pick different champions. Because right now you can only ban one champion on the other team, and sometimes because there's combinations of three champions where two of which are extremely OP and hard to deal with, it's a lot harder to force that out if you can't draft some of those champions as well. So I think it would bring an interesting, extra thoughtful strategy. It would be a little difficult to implement, I'm sure, because you don't certainly don't want people to, okay, you've got 30 seconds to pick from the entire roster of Raidshadowlegends. So it would have to be
Mm-hmm.
something you pick 10 of them ahead of time and pick from.
Yeah.
But I think that would be a fun and thoughtful way to add some additional strategy and thought into Live Arena, which I think is what most players really want.
Yeah, I agree with that actually. One of the things I would change was going to be number 2, which is mainly for everyone actually. This would be a great change for everyone. I would have spoken about this in a couple of videos before. Is the live arena chest, right? Everything that they've added to this game mode, has been fantastic, and the frustration bits are probably the most frustration bits really let Live Arena down, which is the matchmaker and the glitches and the bugs, which are not being addressed fast enough, in my opinion, which we're not going to get into today's video. Will be the fact is we have no way of farming mythical champions, right? So, anyone that's a low spender or free to play, there's still a lot of us that don't have mythical champions. Now, I'm a low spender. I have definitely spent my fair chunk of change on primal shards myself, and I own 8 mythicals, and 2 of them are for free. which will go to 9 because I will have one more for free. So that goes down to 6, and then 2 more are from like remnants or whatever, because I work hard on my account and clearing all the content like Curse City, etc. And I'm really pushing that much as possible. And for me, I still can't get the mythical champions that I want. So for me, primal shards would be the way to go. And like you said, like how Howard has said in his first one, is there's still a lot of old accounts or people that don't want to do live arena that are stuck down in silver and bronze. They should be locked into gold at a certain point. And then one of the things that are really going to encourage them is if they can farm primal shards. So what I would do is I would limit gold 4 to 30 to 40 a month to get them primal shards. This will also encourage people to farm the Z sets and the impulse, which is fantastic. I would leave it at 10 to 15 wins. I think is curious, and this will encourage a lot of more people to do live arena, which would water out all the krakens of their accounts. And I would limit gold 2, gold 1, and gold 3 a little bit more less primals, because then it encourage all the big people that are taking advantage and abusing the system to be in gold 4. And now, yes, I do agree that it's still bad for people who are low spenders and free to play, but there has to be a balance somewhere, right? And we're trying to protect you in some sense as well. Now, this would only give you 2 guaranteed mythicals a year if there was to do that, which I think is still very poor, but it's better than what we've got right now. So all I do is change this chest from 35 to 10 or 15 wins, and then really push that out so people can do way more live arena. For me, I would definitely drop our account on what I drive and do way more on my accounts. So that would be one thing that I would like to see change, and it'll give a bit more variety and a bit more of a power creep. Cut down the power creep between the Krakens and the spenders, and give the free to play something a bit more than the average login, or the champions that take some like 2 years to get or a year to get, like Marius, etc. And yeah, just and help some with fusions and etc. as well, which is a different question. And yeah, just in general, like we can get this chest after 5 wins. So why have we got to wait 35 for this? This is outdated. It needs to be changed. So for me, that's something. Even if it's just 10, I mean, better than what we got
Mhm.
now. But again, if they don't want to give us 2 mythicals a year, give us 1 Plarium. Come on. So for me, that's something I would change. What do you think about that in general yourself? Would you like to see that change as a low spender yourself?
Yeah, I think that the live arena chest being 35 wins is rough. The fact that you're capped on how much of the primal quartz you can get in that is also feels bad, because you can cap that in 3 chests possibly, which means the fourth chest a month doesn't even give you that primal shard, and you're getting so you're getting less than 50 primal shards a month, or a year maximum, which
Mm,
really kind of hurts. So getting rid of that cap would help. Making that chest easier to get would help. And yeah, if it was very clear that Live Arena was a good place to farm mythicals for primal shards, I think you would get more people to play it. And honestly, the best way to fix some of the matchmaking problems that we're talking about is to get more people to play, because the volume of players means that there is a better set of people for you to make matchmaking against, and that's just going to help people overall.
yeah. And the main reason with
So,
seasons, the problem I've seen in seasons right now is when season ends, everyone goes AFK again. So, I mean,
mhm,
I've done it right. Like seasons and last month, I grind a lot on all the accounts. I took 2 weeks off on my account, did like one or two goes to get like 1 win a day to do my dailies, and that was it. Like I
mhm.
just got on with everything else, and didn't really worry about the gear because I have the gear. I've got the medals. Like when the more that you grind live arena, the more the value that everything becomes. So for me, like I don't like last month, which we spoke about the quarters. I got to the last chest and I got 5 because I was stuck on 395. So the last chest I
Mhm.
got out of the 35 wins, 5. Come on, like get rid of these quarters. Give us primals instead. Just give us 1 primal per chest.
Yeah, and the funny part about that too is that if that last chest that got you 5, if you maybe had waited a day or 2, you might have gotten the full value of it just because if the month ticks over, suddenly it's a full value again.
Yeah.
So the limit just seems kinda not great. Honestly, if they capped you at, maybe they capped you at 10 primals a month and you gave you a primal per chest at the end. So not even this quartz stuff, just gave you a full on primal or something like that. I
Mm,
don't know. They need then there needs to be a higher cap on that though. I definitely agree because
yeah.
that's going to encourage people.
There's just
And honestly, get rid of the 5-star gear in there too. You're
yeah.
talking about rewards. Get rid of the 5-star gear. That's just so sus.
Yeah, it should be epic 6-star and up, because it's
Mhm.
hard to get, right? Even in the lower
I mean, I'm
levels.
fine with you in rare 6-star. I would take a rare 6-star over an epic 5-star just in general
Yeah, true.
because it's just so useful.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I've got one more for you, and to be fair, some of this I think is something. It's actually something Grim and I talked about beforehand, and it's probably it might be a content creator thing. It might be just depending on how you play. But I the auto picker is sucks. It's just not particularly good. It auto picks who it thinks is your most powerful champion, which means if you have mythicals on your account, it will auto pick whatever mythical happens to be the highest champion on your account. That's for mythicals, it's not necessarily that bad. But once it starts getting into legendaries, its choice of legendaries that's going to pick for you automatically is a little sus.
Mm,
And what I would like it to be able to do is I would like to be able to set up a list of 10 champions where you pick these 10 champions in this order of who is next available on this list. So basically set up a pre-draft list. Now we sort of already have that with the ability to mark people as Arena 1 or Arena 2 builds, but that helps for us to pick them in the first place. I think it's actually would be nice to actually have a list of these are my 10 go-to live arena champions. And even if champions you regularly use are not going to be on those top 10 lists, this is the I'm somehow not paying attention or maybe the connectivity hiccuped in some way shape or form and we're okay, I need to pick somebody and it picks from this list here. So you don't end up with like, I don't end up drafting Garrel on my account when I'd much rather have drafted Toshiro or Nice, for example. In fact, on my account, very regularly, it drafts my Toshiro over my Nice if I'm automatically not paying attention because my Toshiro has a higher power than my Nice.
mm,
Doesn't mean I'd rather have Toshiro versus Nice in Arena because, Nice in Arena is kind of what you want.
yeah.
So it just something like that would be a great quality of life. Obviously, people don't have to fill it out, so it would be something that people could choose to fill out if they want to. But I'm pretty sure almost every live arena aficionado would love to be able to list their top 10 in somewhat order so that if for some strange reason they have to walk away, not pay attention to a fight, they don't auto pick somebody that they know they can't win with and they lose the fight because it auto picks some really weird champion.
Yeah, I mean, most people have kids, and the minute you say
Yeah.
kids, well, hello, player. That is the first reason to be changing it because
Mhm.
we can't always give Live Arena 110% of our attention because in the day it's just a game, right? Like our worlds don't evolve around raids. We don't certainly live inside raids, even as content creators. We do not live in Raidshadowlegends, so there just need to be something that needs to be adjusted for sure. And I agree with everything pretty much said on that. I guess for me, going into number three, and I think worth saying over number three, there is we can probably talk about this all day about the
Oh
problems with
yeah.
Live Arena. There's the things that we could change, like blind picks, like not being able to see people's names, tags, seeing people's champions, etc. Friendly battles and tournaments that content creators could do, and the value that could add. One of the things I'm actually going to talk about is something that doesn't generally bother them that much, but does bother a lot of people in my community, and it probably does in your community as well, is the
Mhm.
daily quest. Now, I am a big fan of trying to make people do live arena, but we need to try and encourage people to do live arena and not simply just the way we say it on my channel is piss people off. So these live arena battles need to be changed. So win one live arena fight. Now you can get seriously unlucky and lose 3 fights, which is 15 to 20 minutes of my time raid to do dailies. Now dailies should take, I don't know, probably in general 20 to an hour, right? 20 minutes to 1 hour, depending on what game you play. Now raid is the only game that I play where it takes me 3 hours or 2 hours. I think it takes me 2 hours to do all my dailies. If I am not lucky enough to have a Chimera quest or Hydra. Now, I don't see Hydra that myself that much because I run all my keys straight away. I do see Chimera weekly, and it's pretty stupid. My Chimera runs are 1 hour, 1 minute 20. I want that changed as well. They just need to be deleted. So the one of the things I would change would be that I would simply re-change it to enter a fight and just enter a live arena fight. And if the person quits, it quits. And Bronx did comment on this as well, which I'm sure he will mention as well. And the same thing I'd also request is that these tokens that we go straight to our inbox, which is fantastic. I would like to see a 99 day added for that because for seasons we can save them. Obviously, they won't do it because of seasons. Maybe even just 1 week or 2 days or 3 days added onto that. So, for example, if I'm really busy and I can't play 1 hour of live arena, which I think one session generally is between 30 to 60 minutes a day of our time, and that would be something that would change. And also the energy as well, and the multi battles, I would also give us more time to have that in our inbox as well, because that is really annoying as well. The multi battles we get go straight to inbox for 24 hours. The energy, energy just goes straight on, which is stupid. Again, like this does add up to a big chunk of energy a month, which I think is fantastic, but
Mhm.
it does need to be able to allow us to keep it in our inbox and change it from 50 energy to a pot. Are we asking too much? Maybe. But for me, that would be something I'll change. So, what do you think about them changes overall?
Yeah, I like the ability to keep some of that stuff. I mean, if I think if they let us keep the energy, it's never going to go above 50, just because that's that's they're trying to limit the energy in some ways, and I don't necessarily have to agree with it, but I understand why it wouldn't happen. But yeah, I think keeping that stuff for a couple days, a week would be fine. It doesn't have to be 99 days, although that'd be great. But having the ability to shift around when you want to play just a little bit with control is important. So yeah, I agree with the Hydra key and the Chimera key. They're quests that don't feel good. The live arena quest, to be fair, the live arena quest I believe has replaced the good old use an affinity team in tag, or use an affinity team in arena or classic arena, or breed a team of higher power in arena, and those quests were always a little annoying as well. So they've
Mm.
traded one annoying quest for another. I don't think it should just be enter a team, because I think that if I enter and leave, you're going to actually get a bunch of people to constantly enter and leave, and then you're going to ruin the matchmaking. I think you're better off having a enter a fight and run it to completion, which basically means you don't leave the fight on your end first.
Mm.
So that way, if you don't really care, you just want to run the thing, you can literally hit the live arena, go auto, let it auto pick a team, go walk, go to the bathroom, go do whatever you want. And the fight's done. Either you win or you lose and you move on. But at least a fight happened and somebody else didn't just, have the fight pop in and then you left and they get a free win. That's not helping anybody. Even if it feels like, oh, cool, I got a free win out of it. That's not helping Live Arena feel like a good mode. At least if you get a fight, it's going to feel a little bit better. So I think forcing the full fight, even if it is not going to be a fight you have to win, don't make people win, because the wins are rough, especially like my free to play account. I'm level 69 right now. I have 6 legendaries on that account, and one of them's Arbiter, one of them is Fabian, and one of them is Sun Wukong. Those are 3 champions a lot of people have. So I struggle sometimes to bring decent champions to a live arena fight, because I get champions that I want to bring in my fights picked, and I don't have a huge variety of roster. So sometimes I could struggle to get wins. I've actually lost 7 in a row on that account, which is shouldn't happen because I should be getting some of those gimme fights, but occasionally those gimme fights are not gimme fights for that account.
Mm.
So the ability to do that daily quest in a loss, as long as I'm sticking around and doing the fight, saves a ton of time still for people who don't really want to dive too deep into it, and still gives people the experience of at least they're forced into live arena to try it once or twice, and they might find that, hey, this one fight I kind of had to play actually was kind of fun, maybe I'll try the second fight, as opposed to this, I just got to get this quest done and I'm just going to go in and quit, because they're never going to experience live arena.
Yeah, yeah, true. I mean, I totally agree with everything. And for me, it's just a quest that's really annoying. Like, daily
Mhm.
should be fast. I mean, everything Raid are doing just in general, and this is not trying to rip into them, it's half baked, as we say in England. They release something good, but then they just don't finish it, right? Like, I mean, let's talk about these background battles for a second. We can't do live arena at the same time as that, you know? So
Yeah.
it's kind of bad that everything's half baked. I mean, who wants to do a gear cleanse when you're running your dungeons? And how often do you do gear cleanses on your account? Like, that's generally the main bit, right? So I think that we can definitely talk about a lot of things that need to be changed within live arena in general. I think we need to kind of end the video on a positive, and I think that seasons has been a great additional. I think one thing that I would like to see with seasons a little bit is making it feel a bit more seasonal, because right now it's just a copy and paste of live arena in general, and add some type of conditions to that as well. I guess would be number four for me, which, let's not start that, but add some type of soft, um I would say soft counters, because for low spenders and free to play, it would hurt you if you had like a selection of champions, like 10 champions, and you can't use six of them because you can't use demon spawn, for example, or
Mhm.
something like that. But again, when we're talking about mythicals in general, mythicals were released and not meant to replace legendaries. So I think the one thing that they could do is say, okay, one thing we'll do is we'll ban a certain selection of mythical champions, which will only really piss off the Krakens, if I'm being honest. There's probably one or two. Everyone has one or two champions that probably rely on too much on their accounts. I think mine is Commodus, for example. And sometimes it's nice maybe to do you good and to grow your experience, not being able to use Commodus for a season. And I would only do this within seasons. So once seasons are finished, you got your full roster done, and then I'll put on like a, I don't know, 2 year cooldown or whatever. They can definitely spice it up, right? Like, just ban like three mythical champions and just shake up the meta a bit more. And there's definitely a lot of champions in this meta. I think there's probably like 30 to 50 champions in this meta, and we're quite lucky in some sense that the meta has such a vast amount of champions overall. What would you think about that in general?
Yeah. I mean, some of the conditions people are focused on conditions that limit your roster, but you can do conditions that would be, turn meter boost is twice as effective, for example, but turn meter decrease no longer is effective. Or you could find ways to that, and that's probably not a good one. That would be a horrible way to deal with it. But you can find ways to do certain things that might change how the meta works a little bit, or like, decreased defense becomes irresistible for this particular one, but but increased defense no longer can be stripped, so it's always
Mm,
protected. So you could do something like that as a kind of fun counterplay. You could do little ways to raise the value of champions without removing other champions. So if a limited roster is not screwed because they can't adjust, but bigger roster is forced to maybe use different champions that shift the meta just enough to make it a little more interesting.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that'd be kind of fun. But yeah, the seasons have generally been good. And honestly, as much as we complained about some of the rewards for Live Arena, the rewards from Live Arena are still pretty decent. The five, I like the new 5 win chest,
Yeah, me too.
and
Yeah.
as much as we don't like the daily quest, the 5 day win chest is nice because it's an optional quest, so you don't have to do it. That gives you very good rewards.
Mm,
Even early on, I got really good gear on my free to play doing the live arena stuff, getting those 5 wins, enough to where it was actually worth spending 10 gems occasionally to buy an additional 5 set of keys to be able to run additional live arena because of how good those pieces of gear were for an early game account.
Yeah.
And so from that end, they're doing a great job, and it's definitely something I can appreciate. And you know, we can complain that they don't go far enough in some cases. This is the half bake argument again, where maybe they could have gone further with what they did to give us all this stuff,
Mm,
but they've done a really good job overall of trying to make things better and trying to make the rewards interesting. And it's got to compliment them for that. They are definitely trying to make us enjoy this mode, and they just got to take some of these suggestions. We got a couple of really good ones in here, and I'm sure there's plenty of more. If you guys have any more of them, leave them down in the comments below. I'm sure Grim would love to hear them. He can pass them on to Polarium. I would love to hear them as well.
yeah. I mean, that was gonna be the way I was gonna wrap up the video. Was, let me know down in the comments. What would be the 3 things that you guys would change with live arena? I mean, they're definitely trying to force people to do live arena way more. Um, I don't know if that's a good thing or not. There is still a lot of issues in it. I guess I should try not to be come across as so negative. I just really care about the game, obviously, like all of us content creators do, and we want to see improvement, 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 and not baby steps either. Like we want leaps, and that's one thing that I would like to see from Raid is a bit more from this game. Raid. Now it is worth noting, just give some of the best rewards in the game, which I totally agree with. I mean, Chimera, Hydra, they suck, right? Curse City sucks. Doom Tower, fantastic. I mean, recently it's probably the best rewards that we receive overall. So yeah, I guess that would be it. Where would the guys find you on what platforms, and how would they be able to watch you and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I am Bront Cat Herder on Twitch. I am Bront Cat Herder on YouTube. It is Bront underscore Cat Herder, I believe, or Space Cat Herder. Either one will probably find me on both of those. I usually stream Tuesday and Thursday night in the US as well as Catterday. In fact, I'm probably going to start streaming shortly after we get done filming this because we're filming this on a Saturday.
Me too. Yeah.
And yeah, I do early, mid, and end game takeovers. We talk about stuff. We have fun. Fun is mandatory on my channel. And you know what? This was a lot of fun. So I appreciate you having me on.
Ah, it's always nice. Like I've done a few collabs with big content creators, and I'm thinking to myself, like I really want to work with other people, not just the size of their channels, but people that have the same passions in game, and people that I would like to do collabs with, which is there's a fair share. I like to watch a lot of CCs and stuff like that. So it's nice to be the slightly bigger content creator for a change,
Mhm.
and try and support people, right? Because this community is very tight knit, and most people who watch our videos are watching us anyway, which is fantastic to see. So yeah, I guess that's it. I will drop Cat's channel of his YouTube and Twitch in the description to make it simple. Go ahead and go and subscribe on YouTube. What's your subscribe right now on YouTube? You're like 2,000, 3,000, right? From the last time I
I'm just short
checked.
of 3,000 at the moment.
Yeah.
So
So
we'll get there.
yeah. So
But
if we
you guys have been awesome. And the the community is great. And, it's great to have good members of the community such as yourself as well. I know I've had a lot of the bigger content creators have helped support me, and I've been supporting some of these newer, smaller guys coming up as well. So it's always nice to do these collabs. It's great talking about Raid with people that like talking about Raid. So, and
yeah,
hopefully you guys enjoyed this.
and people that know the stuff about Raid as well, which is great. Yeah, I guess that's it for to the video, guys. As usual, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what would be the 3 things that you guys would change. And as usual, it's been an absolute pleasure. If you enjoyed today's video, I've been Grim. I'll see you on the next one.